swagoo.
Well, you can't be humble in sports, man. Come on now.
Joining us now, this doesn't happen very often. One, that Brian is back on the show, and that we get to bring in Jarom on the road. Jarom Jordan joining us somewhere in the middle of the great state of Pennsylvania, I believe. Jarom, are you alive and well in the middle of Pennsylvania?
Yeah, it's been an eventful trip. What's up, Brian?
Hey, Jarom. How you doing?
Brother on the show. It's good to have you back, man.
Yes, I just want to say that I love you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm by the private metropolis of Port Matilda, Pennsylvania, which is about 15 or so miles away from State College here on a game day. I appreciate you bringing me on Cinco de Mayo, by the way. My mom is a white Mexican, so this is a significant day for me and my family where we had mariachis at multiple weddings in my family, so this really means something to me.
Hola, Jarom. ¿Cómo estar?
Yeah, thank you. You've just offended every return missionary Spanish speaker and native.
Jarom, do you speak Spanish? I didn't know you.
He speaks Portuguese.
No, I speak Portuguese. I went to Brazil on my mission trip.
I didn't know that your mom was Mexican.
That's a true story.
She's white Mexican. Grew up in the Mormon colonies, baby.
Wow.
So that's what's up.
So you know can you cook Mexican food?
Nope.
Oh.
He can.
Oh man, I have no further questions for you then.
I have plenty of questions, Jarom, including this. You said it's been an eventful trip out to Pennsylvania, and I said earlier, in the fashion that you love so much, you may or may not have a wallet in your possession right now. What happened, dude?
Okay, so yesterday was a fun day. Flew to Denver, Chicago, to Pittsburgh, driving this morning. Hey, which, by the way, I should mention this. So, I'll get to it. So in Denver, my wallet fell out of my pocket. Okay? That happens. It happens, right?
Yep.
So I switched seats, but in the meantime, a flight attendant picks it up and doesn't think to ask anyone who's staying on the plane connecting to Chicago, is this your wallet? She takes it off the plane, and it is in Denver. My wallet is in Denver. So I fly to Chicago, and then I realized that I've lost it. I asked the flight attendant. She said, "Oh, shoot, it's in Denver." So, yeah, that's happening. Anyways, I stayed at the courtyard. Everything was cool. I was going to rent a car. I don't have a wallet, so that didn't happen. Luckily, Mr. Elite 90 himself, Michael Hatch, his parents, Christine and Kent, are right here. Will you guys say hi?
Hello, Hatch family. Thank you for rescuing Jarom.
Yeah, outside of Port Matilda, on my way to State College. Smart move. Michael's smart. His parents are smart. They've hooked me up, which is really nice. So here we are. Yeah, it's been eventful. So I don't have a wallet.
Well, you're going to be in State College, I would guess, in roughly 10 to 15 minutes. And, oh, by the way, there's this thing called the National Semifinals happening tonight in men's volleyball, which you're going to call. BYU, the top-seeded team, top-ranked, didn't get any love on the national awards, which I'd like to get your opinion on in a second. But they take on Long Beach State tonight for a chance to compete in the national championship. What are you thinking as you approach this match, and what do you expect from BYU tonight?
Yeah, rich storylines. There's a lot going on here, but certainly a rematch of a match I saw in person in January at Long Beach State, where BYU played a pair and split. So BYU won in 4 the first time, and then Long Beach State won in 3. 49ers are the only team that swept BYU all season long, one of only 3 teams to beat BYU. So this third match, I think BYU is a way better team. I think that Long Beach State is a worse team than they were at that point, because they started the season 18-2. They were ranked number 1 for 5 weeks in a row. But then since then, they're 7-5. They just haven't been that good. Sean Olmstead, first-year coach, the last time he coached the team, he got them to the national title match, which was Penn State. I know it was in, I believe, Nebraska, but now he's at Penn State coaching BYU against Long Beach State, who he beat as a senior for the national title in 2004. So there are a lot of rich storylines. BYU flew in on a charter Tuesday night. They were able to get acquainted with the facilities a little bit that night. There were 2 playing games. Long Beach State beat Erskine. Wednesday, BYU was able to practice on the court, attended a banquet, was able to see Beaver Stadium at Penn State. This morning from 10 to 11, BYU did practice on the court. And tonight, as you mentioned, 6 Eastern time on BYU Radio. Video available, by the way, on NCAA.com. I'll have the call on BYU Radio.
Jarom Jordan joining us from just outside Port Matilda, Pennsylvania, on his way to State College right now. Okay, now your unbiased opinion, Jarom, on BYU being snubbed.
BYU, what are you talking about?
Being snubbed in the national awards. So Sean Olmstead doesn't win Coach of the Year. That goes to Ohio State, as does the Player of the Year go to one of the Buckeyes. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that the Player of the Year nod was appropriate for Ohio State. They'd have a tremendous year, only 2 losses. I don't even know how to say that dude's name. Nicholas, he's French. I don't know how to say the last name. And then the National Coach of the Year, that one rubbed me the wrong way, though, because expectations were low for the Buckeyes and they exceeded those. Loyola and Lewis were supposed to be good. They weren't. Ohio State only lost 2 matches. Incredible year, by the way. They're really good. We'll see how good they are this weekend. And tonight they play UCLA. They may play for the national title. They might even win it. I mean, they're really good. But, yeah, I think that it's added a little bit of extra fire for BYU and motivation to not get a National Player of the Year or Coach of the Year when they were the best team preseason and at the end of the conference tournament going into the NCAA tournament. So I think BYU will be ready to go. They were already motivated, but this only adds to it. And let's be clear, BYU is the best team at this tournament. They're the best team in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Top seed, number 1 ranking, number 1 RPI, top hitting percentage, top blocking. There's no question who the best team is right now, but will they be the best team through Saturday night?
So do you think that if BYU wasn't or going to come to the season with the expectations or high expectations, or BYU always represents, BYU is always held to certain standards, and we kind of expect this of them, that they would have had a better chance to have the Coach of the Year or maybe a Player of the Year?
Oh, for sure. BYU was the preseason number 1, and they lived up to the hype. They ended that way. And so for Sean Olmstead to come in and put these pieces together, certainly the cupboard was full, including the Indian in the cupboard. He was in there with Ben Pass, all those guys. And they made it happen. But unfortunately, that was not rewarded in the form of a Coach of the Year. Trust me, though, all these guys don't care. If they win the national title, they won't care or even remember who the Coach of the Year, who the Player of the Year was.
True.
BYU men's volleyball play-by-play specialist, also our resident movie analyst and critic, Jarom Jordan, joining us from Pennsylvania on his way to the national semifinals for NCAA men's volleyball tonight. You can listen to that live on BYU Radio. Now, the good news for BYU, well, one of the bits of good news, I should say, resides with our stat of the day.
It's the BYU Sports Nation stat of the day.
You can put as much weight as you want on this, but BYU 2-1 all-time against Long Beach State in neutral site games. Now, Jarom, I know you're a huge proponent of games that have happened in the past and having an impact on what actually happens tonight. Now, if 2-1, the Cougars, they're confident, obviously. Do you feel like they have an advantage at a neutral site against Long Beach tonight? Because they split on the road in California, but how much of an advantage, if there is that accentuated? How do you feel about that?
The biggest advantage that BYU has is that they're a better team, period. But in terms of neutral site, Long Beach State's actually 5-1. BYU hasn't played a single neutral site game. But that was a decent stat of the day, but I have a better one.
Wow, Jarom going stat of the day on the road?
It's the BYU Sports Nation stat of the day.
Long Beach State is 1-6 versus top 5 teams this season. In fact, the last 3 matches they played, they've only won 1 set. BYU's the number 1 team. The only win, however, for Long Beach State against the top 5 team is against BYU. So I think that when Long Beach State has actually been tested versus the good teams, they haven't been good.
For the first time in the history of BYU Sports Nation, we have a stat of the day called out on the road over the phone.
I feel left out, man.
You know I'm going to bring it, man. I'm at the Final Four, dude. Let's go.
I feel like I should have a stat of the day.
Jarom,
Put the music.
A couple of things as we wrap up. One, I hope you get your wallet back. I hope that they expedite that thing to you as soon as possible.
They still haven't called me to say they have it.
Hey, just let them know that you're on TV, Jarom, and you can do whatever you want. That's all you got to do. Say, I'm on TV.
I may have to pull that Spencer pulled that card when he got his wallet stolen in Miami.
Yeah, I just heard that story.
I didn't want to say this, but I'm on this show.
I was trying to be humble, but you made me do it. I'm on TV. I'm a celebrity.
You make me sound like such a punk. Oh, yeah.
You got to do what you got to do, man.
That story again for another day.
You got to get on that plane.
You got to get yourself on. I wanted to go home, man. BYUtv.org was my way to get home with no wallet. Jarom, safe travels, man. Again, thanks to the Hatch family for picking you up, and we'll listen to you tonight on BYU Radio.
Sounds great. We just pulled into the house where we're staying. It's like this cottage in the hills of, like, outside State College of this dude in the stake presidency that's on a trip in Ireland. This is like one of the funnest, craziest trips I've ever been on. But here we are.
Let's hope it ends in a national championship.
That's right. 6 Eastern. See you tonight on the radio.
All right, my friend.
Bye, Jarom.
Jarom Jordan on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, your values.